This is Matthew Kratter from Trade University, and today I want to talk about how Casa has just added support for Morons. Casa, if you don't know, is a company that offered a pretty cool cold storage solution for Bitcoin on your phone using their app, which was basically built on something called multi-sig, where you store your Bitcoin, and the only way to move it is if you have multiple signatures. And as I said, they used to be a Bitcoin only company. They were co-founded by 𝐻𝐿𝐬, who is held in high regard in the Bitcoin community. At least he was until recently, until this news came out that Casa is now also going to offer support to Ethereum on their multi-sig solution. I'll link to the Casa tweet about this. Today, we're proud to announce a major step in the future of private key management with Casa. We've redesigned our app, and now our members will be able to secure Ethereum alongside Bitcoin within Casa. When I saw this, I almost fell out of my chair because this was definitely not something I would expect from a company that's really branded themselves as a Bitcoin only company, as has 𝐻𝐿𝐬 over the years. This is actually good news, though, for supporters of US Treasury and OFAC censored coins like Ethereum. If you're into OFAC compliant blocks, Ethereum is definitely the captured control currency for you. Over the past 7 days, 72% of the blocks have enforced US government compliance. So if you are into Ethereum and you want to store your government controlled coin, Casa now offers support for this. Now there's finally a place where you can safely store your pre-mined unregistered securities while you wait for the next big change in monetary policy from the oligarchs that control Ethereum. You can read more about that, listen more about it in my video, which I'll link to in the description notes below, about the Ethereum surveillance machine and how all the infrastructure in Ethereum is controlled by people like 𝐲𝐿EBIN and Consensus and MetaMask, which is now logging your activity whenever you connect to an Infura node. So if you're into government coins, if you're against the whole cypherpunk revolution, Ethereum is definitely for you, as is Casa. I think it's impressive the lengths that venture capitalists will go to betray the Bitcoin revolution, even Bitcoin-centric VCs. We expect bad things from the guys who invested in Solana. I made this video about a year ago, right as Solana was peaking, about how the VCs like David Sachs and Chamath were getting ready to dump on you. We've also talked about Andreessen Horowitz's cryptocurrencies, which they really like crypto because they don't need to wait for an IPO to get liquidity. They can dump on retail investors without waiting the requisite 5 to 10 years, without actually even having a product that has product market fit. If we take a look at the investors in Casa, we see a number of prominent names. We see Castle Island Ventures, which is run by Nick Carter, who at least until recently was a very widely respected Bitcoiner. He went on a few rants against Bitcoin maximalists and has succeeded in somewhat tarnishing his reputation. Another investor in Casa's Series A funding round was Stillmark Ventures, which I'm disappointed to see these changes at Casa because 𝐸𝐿𝐬, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing her name right, has been a good supporter of Bitcoin. And you can see here, even on the Stillmark website, Bitcoin, not crypto. So I can't imagine that she supports this, but this does go to show you that even if you're a Bitcoin only VC and you invest with crypto VCs, you're going to end up getting in trouble and having things like Ethereum added to your product. It looks like the lead investor in the Series A was Accrue Capital. They are based in Silicon Valley, I believe. They've invested in amazing companies like BlockFi and Coinbase, one of which is still with us. And so it's hard to know exactly which VCs were pushing for this. And it's hard to know to what extent the CEO, Nick Newman, and the co-founder, 𝐻𝐿𝐬, had their backs against the wall. But this is definitely very discouraging to see, especially when Ethereum is on its way out. This might have made sense before the merge, but Ethereum has become a complete mess over the past 6 months. And now with OFAC censorship being applied because of the move to proof of stake, adding Ethereum really doesn't make any sense for Casa. In addition, if you actually care about the financial health of your company and the financial health of your customers, you're going to be a Bitcoin only company. Swan Bitcoin is a great example of a company that's firing on all cylinders, and they've been able to maintain their devotion just to Bitcoin. They've weathered the crypto blow up in the bear market quite well. Unlike shitcoin companies like BlockFi, FTX, Celsius, and Gemini, it looks like Casa wants to join these sort of shitcoin companies and sell Bitcoiners down the river, compromise their security in order to appease venture capitalists. Problem with adding support for Ethereum is it not only exposes you to a lot of low IQ and very high time preference customers, it also adds complexity and attack surface to your product. It takes years to build a good reputation, and I would say with this announcement, Casa, 𝐲𝐮𝐫, and Nick Newman have just destroyed their reputations with a single move. No Bitcoiner will ever completely trust them again, which is unfortunate. This really pains me to say, as up until this point, I've always been a big fan of 𝐸𝐮𝐫. And he's definitely contributed a lot to the Bitcoin space. I don't want to minimize that, but definitely this is not a good look for him or a good look for Casa. I think one of the morals of the story is if you're a Bitcoin startup, you need to choose your initial investors, especially your seed investors and your Series A investors, very, very carefully. Don't include anyone with a history of tokens or shitcoining, as Casa unfortunately did. This tweet thread from 𝐸𝐮𝐫 is pretty cringe, I have to say. They're excited to announce an expansion in their self-sovereignty as a service offering. I can't believe that 𝐸𝐮 actually believes this. There's absolutely nothing self-sovereign about an OFAC captured proof-of-stake coin like Ethereum. And it appears to me, at least, that 𝐸𝐮𝐫 clearly cares more about his equity in Casa than he does about his reputation or his customers. If I were holding any Bitcoin at Casa, which I'm not, I would immediately move it to a different multi-sig solution. There's no reason to be part of a crypto company, a company whose product has exposure to Ethereum, and they're willing to compromise on their ideals in this way and open themselves up to more attack vectors by making their product Ethereum friendly. I used to recommend Casa. I will link to this video in the description notes below, the best way to store large amounts of Bitcoin. I'll discuss, in this video, I discuss what multi-sig is in a little bit more detail. In this video, I actually do recommend Casa. I will definitely not be recommending them anymore. The other company I do recommend in this video, though, is 𝐸𝐻𝐿 Capital, which I'll link to in the description notes below. You can set up a multi-sig vault with them for free, and they will hold your hand and help you out doing it. So these 𝐸𝐻𝐿, it looks like they will definitely benefit from this. They're the last legitimate large company that's doing multi-sig on Bitcoin. And now that Casa has sort of exited stage left, I'll only be recommending 𝐸𝐻𝐿 Capital. I'll put a link in the description notes below. I have no affiliation with them. I'm not being paid by them or anything. Do your own due diligence and check them out. 𝐸𝐻𝐿 is a great multi-sig solution. The only problem with using a collaborative custody solution like this is you are leaking some privacy. 𝐸𝐻𝐿 will be able to see how much Bitcoin you own, where it's coming from. They will have visibility into your vault simply because they will be controlling one out of the 3 keys. And so if you want to take this to the next level, if you're really serious about it, the best solution is to build your own multi-sig vault. This is definitely an advanced thing. It's not necessarily for everyone. If you want someone to hold your hand, 𝐸𝐻𝐿 Capital, their collaborative custody solution, their vaults is definitely much easier. But if you want to use your own node, if you want to build your own multi-sig solution where you use multi-vendors, you use different hardware manufacturers, and you set it all up using your own node and your own software, this is one of the things I talk about in my paid courses as a fairly advanced procedure. I also talk about how to buy Bitcoin anonymously, how to coin join it, and then how to stick it in a cold storage multi-sig vault. So be sure to check that out after you've exhausted all my free material on YouTube, after you've already watched this video on multi-sig, and after you've already checked out 𝐸𝐻𝐿 Capital. For most people, I think 𝐸𝐻𝐿 Capital is a perfect solution. But if you want to take it to the next level, I'd encourage you to click in the description notes below. You can check out my paid course. I have to say, making this video makes me very sad. As I said, 𝐸𝐿, I really looked up to him for many years, and I learned a lot from him, from his website and his tweets. So it's very sad to see something like this happen. This is what happens in bear markets. I have to suspect that Casa just wasn't making enough money, and that's why they're going the shitcoiner route and expanding their offerings. Who knows what they're going to add next? Maybe they'll add HEX, maybe they'll add XRP. They seem to be very responsive to their especially low IQ customers who like to hold chip coins, and they'll be willing to build whatever sort of multi-sig vault for them that they want. So I think this is really the beginning of the end of Casa. By doing this, they've really alienated a lot of Bitcoiners who were supporting them, unfortunately. So you hate to see it, but Bitcoin will go on, multi-sig will go on. We have Unchained, we can build our own vaults, and so we don't really need Casa anyway. Wish them all the best, but I certainly will not be promoting them anymore. If you found this video helpful, be sure to hit that subscribe and like button. Hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when I publish my next video. And let me know your questions and comments in the comment section below. Thanks all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.